Today we are going to do a fill-in project. So you need to go to Google Classroom, which you should already be there, and click on fill-in project. While you're there, and you should be doing this on your iPad, you're going to pick from the bear, the celestial, which is a moon and stars and a sun, and the celestial too is a moon and star and suns. There's turtle clan and wolf clan. So you're going to pick one of those. And so I'm just going to pick wolf clan. Okay, so to get this into Procreate, what I need to do is I need to come up here at the top and push this square with the arrow coming out of it. And then choose Procreate. Once done, go over here and hit the X to close that out. You can close Google Classroom and then go to Procreate. Now, the very first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to name your project. So make sure it's yours. So tap here. Oops. Let's stop that. And we're going to tap the words. Wolf Clan. Yours might say something else. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to name it my last name, Caliph. And if I didn't mess up wolf, I'll leave wolf there. You might leave bear or celestial or whatever. And then hit done. So now you know that this one belongs to you. So we're going to go ahead and open it up in Procreate. I like to shrink my picture down. Remember, you can use your two fingers to do that. So the first step is we need to turn the reference on. The reference makes sure that we can color drop into each section without it flooding the other section. So we go to our layers right there, and on the layer it's on layer 1, you want to tap layer 1, and you want to go down and tap reference. Then add another layer. So that you understand this, for every different color you use, you're going to use a different layer. So if you use red, you're going to have a layer for that. If you use white, you're going to have a layer for that. If you use pink, you're going to have a layer for that. So right now, I'm going to choose green. And I'm going to choose the green color that I want. And always make sure you're on the layer. We never want to add color onto layer 1. So now I'm going to come in and look what happened. You see how it flooded? Well, this is the reason why. If I zoom in, you see these areas right here? Your lines have to touch or go off the page. So undo, I'm going to take my two fingers and undo. I'm going to go back to my reference. I'm going to choose black. Okay, I'm going to change my pencil to monoline, and I'm going to leave it kind of small. Let's see how it does. Okay, so I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to close this line. And now that I know that that's going to happen, I'm going to go in and make sure that all my lines go off the page. Okay, those look good. Those look good. Okay, so now I shouldn't have that happen. So I'm going to go back to my green layer. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go get my green. And now what? I'm going to touch the color and drag it to the area that I want it to go to. And when you get small areas, if you make the picture bigger, then it's easier to color drop. Now I'm just going to go through and color drop all of my pictures. Now notice I pause for a second when I drag it in there. I kind of pause for a second and leave my pencil on the area there. All right, I'm going to finish my green and I will be right back. Now I'm going to add a different green. So I'm going to add a new layer. And now I'm going to change to a lighter green. And now go in and fill in more areas. Okay, there's a really small area right here. And so when I go to try to drag, it fills in. But if it doesn't and it turns everything green, then remember to tap with your 2 fingers. Now I'm going to add my heels in the background, and I think I'm going to use purple for those. So I'm going to add another layer for that color, and I'm going to choose a nice pretty purple. And add the purple. You could choose any colors you want. It doesn't have to be realistic. You see how small that spot is? If you make it bigger and then hold your finger there, oh, actually it wasn't supposed to be that color. And look what I did here. So I just take my 2 fingers to undo. And so I just pause. Let's do here, 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 and here. Okay. And I'm going to add another layer because now I'm changing colors again. This time I'm going to do a pinkish red color. You see how I kind of pause? I kind of pause when I drag it. These colors look really good together. Purple and pink look good. Okay, now I want to do the dog, and I notice there's a gap right here. So if I wanted to do, let's say, a light blue puppy, and I drag this over, it fills in the whole face because there's a gap right there. So what I have to do is go back to the reference page, that's layer 1, grab black, okay, and then just close that line, just like that, close it. And now when I go back to my new layer, which I got to add a layer up here for the blue, okay, and sometimes this doesn't want to budge, so you got to play around with it sometimes. Let me do this, there we go. Okay, so that's the blue I want my puppy to be. So now when I come in here, it doesn't go all over the face. His face is going to be a different color. And so are his feet, and the inside of his ears are going to be a different color. And his nose, I'm not sure yet. But anywho, so this is what I'm doing. I'm going through and I'm filling in all the different areas, and then I'll be back. Okay, so you can see I finished my puppy, and I have a darker blue here and a lighter blue. These are on 2 different layers. As you can see here, here's the body of the dog, his nose, and his face and paws. So you always want to do different layers. So now I'm going to add another layer, and for this one, I'm going to do my sky. And for my sky, I want it to be a really pretty blue. There we go. Make sure I'm on that empty layer there and drag. Awesome. Okay, so I have a couple things left. I have the stars, and I have the big stars and the little stars and the moon. So I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to go to yellow, yellow, orange, and I'm going to do the moon and the big stars. And I'm going to leave the little circle stars, I'm going to leave those white. Okay, so if it's the end of class, then you could go ahead and save this as a JPEG. But there's one more step we want to take if you have time. And so what I would suggest is that you just pick maybe the animal or the moon or maybe the stars. Just pick something to add textures to. So I'm going to do the moon and the stars. And so in order to add textures to it, and so that it doesn't go out of the lines, I'm going to turn on alpha lock. Now the way I do that is I swipe 2 fingers to the right, or I can tap here and then choose alpha lock. And so I'm going to swipe 2 fingers, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a checkerboard behind my moon and stars. That lets me know alpha lock is turned on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my color to a lighter, let's see, that's probably okay there. All right, and I'm going to grab a texture brush. So go to the brushes, and I'm going to go to organic, I think. Yep, and I like this snow gum. Okay, so I'm going to choose that. And now I can go over my moon. I don't touch the dog. I don't go into the sky. And actually, I don't like that color, so we're going to go back and we're going to do, let me turn the alpha light back on because I turned it off by mistake. I think I'm going to do an orange. And I'm going to lower the size of the brush. Or maybe I should do larger. No, I'll do smaller. Let's see how that looks. Okay. So what this is doing is this is just adding, and see how I'm going off the moon here, and it's adding a texture without going anywhere else on the picture. So your next step, once you have it finished, is to save it as a JPEG. So it's ready to turn in. If it's not ready to turn in, then you're going to save it as a Procreate. So I'm ready to turn it in. So I went to the wrench, I pushed share. Now I'm going to do JPEG. And I'm going to go to my Google Drive. And I have it named because I changed the name in the beginning. It's already got the name to Caliph Wolf Clan. Down here, it's telling me to select a user, okay, because my name's not coming up. So I'm going to select the user, which is me, select the folder, my drive, artwork, and then down here, save here, and then upload. And now it's going to my Google Drive. So then you're probably wondering what's the next step. Okay, so to turn in your assignment, what you need to do is you need to be on your iPad, go to the assignment, click on it, and then down here is an arrow. You need to tap the arrow and add attachment. Go to your drive, go to your artwork folder, grab the picture, and then attach it to the assignment, and then turn in.